So I wanted to do this quick video, like a after the fact review, overview type deal. Been getting many questions about if I love or still love Studio One even after using it for quite some time. I've been in this program for maybe 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, whatever. So let's look at this front page here. One of the things I love is like how you can just go to anything. Like all of your recent files, your recent songs you've been working out of is highlighted here. And if you want to know the exact date, just hover over it and it'll give you all the way down to the timestamp, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, it's been 2 years, so I can scroll all the way back down and see that I've been in there for quite some time. The other thing, the section over here is the features or the news feed here is where they feature everything that's happening with personas, all of the new plugins, all of the new integrations or different sales going on, coupons or whatever's going on. All of this stuff falls in right here, which is pretty awesome. So that means you can stay abroad everything that's going on with Studio One, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? So I've caught a lot of things just by working here because I'm working here almost every day. So instead of waiting to check my email, it's like bam, I know exactly what's going on. So another thing is my picture here. This is something that all of my clients get when I bounce down the MP3. Which is pretty awesome. This is something I could not do in another program I was using. But people ask me, how do you do that? Well, you just go to that little the little button you just see me press on and find your files this way. And but keep in mind that when you bounce down the MP3s, this will come out unless you go specifically to the song information, that section or whatever, and change the image or the album art. But see, the fact that you can bounce this down with album art in it automatically is like a huge thing to me because I wasn't able to do that before. You have a SoundCloud integration right here, which is awesome, and then you can also see your setup here, everything right here. Like it's like right in your face. You know exactly what's going on. That's some of the things I really like about this. And then let me show you guys something, and this is just really coming from how the fact that I've been using this program for quite some time now, and been getting a lot of questions about how do I feel even after the fact, you know what I'm saying? And so I have a couple of things that I have running in the background, and just the fact that I can switch between songs. This is something I've addressed before in one of my videos, but like the fact that I can go between several songs without sacrificing CPU, this is pretty awesome. Like this is bananas, man. Like who does that? You know what I'm saying? And then oftentimes this is the thing. You know what I mean? I think the big issue here is I get a lot of you guys that ask me questions about Studio One and how I feel. My big thing about Studio One is workflow. That's the whole reason why I switched over from Logic Pro to Studio One, because it's just all about workflow for me. And just about everything that you can do here is awesome. So they fixed the movie encoder here, or the video encoder, where I can do stuff like this, composing music to film. You know what I'm saying? That was something I wasn't able to do before. I could always get a file in here, but now I'm able to export the audio from the actual, I'm used to doing that in Logic Pro, but now they fixed it, so now I'm able to do that. Still alive, down 8-7, Mike Montgomery. Right, so my channel is really geared towards music producer, right? And a lot of my videos that I display to you guys, tutorials and whatnot, it's not really gained towards Studio One. So I don't want you guys thinking that I'm trying to push Studio One on you guys. It's just really all about workflow. So whatever it is that you're working out of is great. But I get a lot of you guys that work inside of Reason. You're working inside of Pro Tools. You're working inside of Logic or whatever you're using. And you guys been watching me for a long time. And some of you guys want to switch over. And so this is where these questions are coming from. They're coming more so from people who been watching me but still using other various DAWs and you know what I mean, and see how proficient I am in Studio One. And so now they want to come and switch over. So now this is like a video geared towards them, or some of you guys that are beginners, you just now starting out or whatever, whatnot, and you kind of want to get a feel for someone who switched over, like new person who switched over, and how fast you can get on the bandwagon and learning stuff. Like this stuff is really great. Like it doesn't take a long time to really get the gist of it. But like I say, it's all about workflow here. So for instance, say I take this section right here, and we're gonna double click here. It automatically pretty much just cut it both in two. And one of the things that just struck me when I first started was the fact that I can take a plugin and add it like this with no problem, and just boom, you know what I'm saying? Like that's dope. Or the fact that I can create a bus by just sending it, you know, bring it here in the send section and just create it automatically for me. That's just like one of those things that just blew me away. But here's the other thing that I like about Studio One. Now, one thing they need to add is mixer undo, because I just undooed and it won't undo this plugin I just add. So that's something I would like to see happen in the next update or so. So we're gonna try to go back to this cut that I did. All right, so I'm gonna undo this. We're gonna remove that reverb there. And then I'm gonna do something pretty cool. You guys seen me do it before, but I'm gonna bring it up again because I was asked to do this. So look, check this out. Now I can add specifically one plugin onto one region. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that is like a deal breaker for me because I wasn't able to do that before. What I was doing before this was I would do things. I would literally go and create another track and do stuff like this. If I want to if I wanted to just, you know, affect this one section, I had to bring up another track. This is what I was doing before. All right, so I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm gonna come here, and some of you guys may not know it. Like, how do you get that reverb? Like, where is it? Like, it's not here. You can't see it over here. By the way, you got to hit your eye to, you know, information to get over here, or you can hit this button right here to get over. But you have to hit this this down arrow. See where it says event effect. You got to hit this down arrow. I'm sorry, not that arrow, but it was collapsed before, but you can see it down here. You know, here's your reverb. Just double click on it to get it back. So say for instance, we're gonna exaggerate. Say we want this to be all the way wet, and here we go.
Still alive, down 8-7. Mike Montgomery in now to close this bad boy out. Chris Bryant.
All right, which is, man, crazy, right? So let me show you this as well. This is dope for it's just a faster workflow doing it this way. So we see the reverb here, and you know, this is, by the way, this is awesome how I can see what's going on. Like I can see each plugin just like right there. It's just easy to see what's going on. I can see my reverb here being oh, that's pretty dope too. I didn't know I can just deactivate. Wow, I just learned something on spot. Just check that out. But see, I can see the reverb right here, and so Studio One will allow you to render that. So now I can render that sound to this region here, which is pretty awesome. And as you guys can see, that once I render it here, I no longer see it, but the information is still there. So if I need to come back and make some adjustments later, I can always activate this restore, and it comes back. That's pretty freaking awesome. You guys can't tell me that ain't awesome, right? So we're gonna keep it there. And
still alive, down 8-7. Mike Montgomery in now.
So it's like, that's pretty awesome because it's like it's still there, and I can gain access to the reverb again if I need to, but it's not taxing my CPU. Brilliant, right? Say for instance, I want to say I didn't want the reverb to be that long. I can bring it back some, and it's not going to affect anything.
Still alive, down 8-7. Mike Montgomery in now.
You know what I'm saying? How did I do that? Well, that's because I was able to do that because these files are non-destructive. You know what I mean? So I can go and switch and have a, you know what I'm saying? I can, and it's going to let me only go that far because that's actually, originally what I cut it. at. So, you know, that's the deal right there. But it's not a deal breaker for me. But just the fact that you are able to do stuff like that is pretty awesome. The other thing is I thought was pretty awesome was say for instance I was to make adjustments as far as automation. Like automation has never been easy inside of Studio One here. So we're gonna go with the EQ, and I'm gonna do like I've been doing. Or you can do things the way you've been doing. Like you can actually go here and, you know, find your plugin, you know, the old school way, blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? You can do it that way. So if you use it that way, that's awesome. You can do it that way. But I like to be able to go over here and there are thumbnails, you know what I'm saying? So I can look at the thumbnails instead of reading the words, because this is a lot. If you got a lot of plugins like me, it's like, man, you got to squint your eyes. And for me, I have a 27-inch screen here. So it's like, that's, you know, I guess working from a laptop, it makes things a little bit better because the resolution of the screen is, you know, you can read it better. But if you have a screen like mine, everything is smaller, and you know, so thumbnails works really great for this type of thing that I'm doing. It doesn't have to be Studio One plugin. It can be any third plugin. So say for instance, I was to grab this passive EQ here and drag it on to the track here. All right, so in order to make automation work, all I have to do here now is just pay attention to this top here. So say we go for the high mids or something. So all I have to do is click on it and pay attention. This up here, it will automatically reflect whatever you press, whatever you click on. All the knobs and faders and buttons and things like that. And you see it just reflects every time. So we're gonna go for this high mid here. And say for instance, we want to automate that. All I have to do is take that little hand up here, drag it here, and what it did was he automatically create the parameter automation on this track for what I need. And I can see the little automation down here. It automatically, you know, kind of just form there, you know what I mean? And say for instance, I want to go here and here. And then if I go here to the top, I can actually pull and make it do, you know, do what I need it to do, you know. And then I can just grab each node and pull it whichever way, depending on what I'm trying to do.
Way to end it, and the Cubs win their first World Series since 1908.
You know what I'm saying?
The longest title drought ends.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just pretty awesome. And if I need, you know, if I don't want to, you know, if I need to, you know, look at this in a different way, I can definitely click down this here and I can see exactly what's going on. And you can always see, you know, what's going on in the background here. So if I click out of that, you can see the, you know what I mean? The automation here. So say for instance, I want to play around with the panning, and my panty wasn't even in the center. So let's say pan. So since I already selected it, here's my pan. So I'm just going to take the hand, boom. It created a automation lane for my panning here. So let's get creative. So let's change the tool and do something pretty funky like this, right? I can do stuff like that. Like this is some of the things I love about being in Studio One, because it allows you to be creative. You know what I mean?
The Cubs win their first World Series since.
You know what I'm saying? I could do stuff like that, or I can take the saw tool or the sign tool here and go like this and do my thing like that. And so let's go for square for instance. Let's go and do that, right? So I could do that.
The way to end it.
But let's say okay, you know, the easy way to kind of like edit this type of stuff is just by going to the transform tool here, and I'm gonna just go here and just select them all. And now I can do stuff like this. I can shorten it. I can, you know what I'm saying? I can move it up and down, like wow, you know what I'm saying?
Making the.
Or I can do things like this.
Making the play to end it, and the Cubs.
Or how about let's get creative and do stuff like that, like.
Making the play to end it, and the Cubs win their.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy, right? This is.
End it, and the Cubs win their first World Series since 19.
Now, stuff like that And that's not only for panning. You can do this to anything and any effect. And just imagine how much creativity can be uh, born just by those parameters and the tools that's available to you here. And it's, so stuff like that, I remember when they made the update where, you click this here and this is what activates your smart tool, depending on where you are in the region, your things will change. As you can see, my tool changed depending on the location of of my cursor tool. So stuff like that, like it just makes editing easy in that aspect. I love Studio One for stuff like this. Again, like the back and forth, being able to go back and forth between projects is pretty awesome. So that like just like the overall workflow of Studio One is pretty awesome. Now, just to give you guys a sneak peek as to what I was working on, I told you guys I'll be releasing a drum kit or some type of sound kit of something. So I've already started, and just let you guys know I've started. Don't give up on me. I started it, and but again, being able to be creative inside of Studio One is made easy. And like, what other DAW would I use to get the point across doing it this way? So like, I can do stuff like this. You know what I mean? I'm working on a couple of kicks and snares and just trying to release a whole kit. But like the fact that I can like bounce each individual, like I don't even have to like, the old way I would do this is I would grab my loop tool. I will get the loop, create a loop here. You know what I'm saying? Bounce that out. And then do the same thing for something else in another area. I don't have to do that. Everything is being derived from the actual marker, so I can actually bounce this out, and everything has its own specific marker. So I can say between each marker. So this works for like you guys that have several songs. Like you could be working on a show mix or something like that, and you putting several songs together, or even not so that is you wanted to bounce down several things and not take a long time to bounce things out. This is the way to go. Bounce down each individual song according to the marker or whatever. Or I can say specific, specific selected markers. Which is if I was to, here it says between selected markers. So it actually, you have options here. Or I can go here and say I want to bounce down something, whatever this is, start. I want to bounce that as well as this one. You know what I'm saying? And then go and make sure that this is selected. And then, guys, this is pretty awesome. Then you have all your, see, I'm not going to go through all these parameters here, but this is just like things that I, kind of just wanted to point out even after using it for a couple of years. Trying to answer some of you guys' questions as to the reason why I love Studio One. Working in Studio One, I think is like the dopest thing. You have a remote. You can work from a remote. So for me, for instance, if you're a singer, artist, drummer, things like that, like where you are working in one space, but your station, where your computer set up at is a little bit far than where the booth is or the drum set is. You can use the remote app as long as you're on the same network. Like stuff like that is pretty awesome. I do that all the time. It saves me time and it's pretty accurate. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And it's just the whole, like, how Personas, the design team, man, big ups to you guys, the way you guys design, this how in just the way that it works. They design it not to take up so much space, like not to take up, not to tax your CPU when you're working. You know what I mean? So you got things here, and if you guys, I don't want to like put out any DAWs on blast or anything like that, but there's a certain DAW, or maybe more than one DAW, that will have everything in the file section, which will make this session rather big. Studio One does a great job in eliminating those things that you're not using. There are several things that I threw away and not using anymore, and I don't see it here. Or if you just want to go the extra route and say remove unused files, and this will reflect everything, the same exact files that lives on your hard drive in that folder or whatever. I thought that was pretty awesome. wow, that I don't know what happened there, but that's just yeah. I'm working on this kit, so I okay. So check this out. I think that might be some things that I wasn't using. So say for instance, I say remove. I got a couple of things in here that I'm not using, so I can say delete permanently, and it'll actually delete. But I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm not really sure. I'm still working. I may need to recall, and I don't want to get into that. But some of you guys asked me how does machine work with it works fantastic. I mean, if you guys know me from the videos I uploaded regarding my workflow inside of Logic Pro, I was working with Machine a lot, and so when I switched over to Studio One, nothing has changed. This is the same workflow. I still use Machine Studio with no problem at all. So this is I have Machine working in the background, and it's pretty freaking awesome right now. You know what I'm saying? But see, the thing is, it's gonna always remain the same. Like the workflow inside of Machine Studio, you have to understand that workflow and then be able to work in whatever DAW. Because Studio One supports VSTs and AUs. All right, so the integration between those two is pretty freaking awesome. Again, the thumbnails is awesome. Like I could see what was going on. I could see my work over here. You know what I mean? That's just pretty cool. Like it does this for your effects, your instruments, and then if you want to mess around with loops, you can definitely mess around with loops and hit the play here, and get to this. And see, the other awesome thing about this is like just what Personas is doing as far as the integration with their digital mixers and interfaces that they have. Like I told you guys, I have the Studio 192 here, but with their digital mixers, you can integrate this stuff, and it comes working with this universal control here, the UC surface here, right? And you guys, I'm showing you guys the mixer interface or console here as I'm talking. I'm talking through this now, and one of the reasons why I bought this thing was because of the just you're looking at it. This is the DSP chip here inside of. That's what I want to say. The DSP chip here is what allowed me to use my voice and talk through this mic that you guys see me talk through without taxing my CPU. I don't even have to use Studio One here to talk through this here, because I'm using the gate and the compress and the EQ, and this is the fat channel settings here through this software here that comes with the interface. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty awesome. And so then I can pre-send, or what is the other one that I'm trying to pre-send or post-send. Okay, so I can do either or, which is pretty awesome. I can label and give it, some colorful and awesome icons, depending on them. You know what I mean? This is pretty cool. I like this. I love this. This is one of the reasons why I purchased the 192, and just the way that it sound period is pretty awesome. All right, so this is absolutely awesome. Now I will say this. Now when doing reviews and overviews, you guys know me to be like one of the realest, man. I don't want to come on here and lie to you guys and say this is the best thing. You know what I mean? It's just really all about workflow. Depends on what you're doing. I will show you some other projects I'm working on with vocals and all that great stuff, but I need permission to do that. But anyway, this thing crashes. I will say that it crashes. Sometimes it stopped working, and Studio One Personas did a great job in fixing a lot of the bugs and errors. So they are very quick in terms of that type of stuff and coming up with nice upgrades and things that kind of like just add more value to this program and your workflow, right? So the awesome thing about this is that it has autosave. So Studio One will autosave as how many times you want, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you set it to, it will autosave, no problem. All right, which is dope. So when this thing crashes or stop on you, you can always retrieve your work from the last autosave, which is awesome. So that happened to me several times, and I was able to retrieve what I was working on because I forgot to, hard save is what I call it, physically go on the keyboard and just hit, save or whatever. So I can always retrieve my work, and the fact that you can save new commands, you can, just I some of you guys ask me, what's the key command for that you just did? I can tell you that, but the fact that you can customize your own stuff, which I have been doing here, I really couldn't tell you. So if I hit B, it's going to be different from your system. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I is universal, but I can change my inspector to do something. I can put a different key here if I want to, but I chose to keep it at I because I was also the inspector inside of Logic. So I'll just leave it there. Makes it easy upon me. But, when I bounce and export stems and, just, I don't know, to activate the loop is C on my system. It might be something totally different for you. But just to be able to customize this thing to according to the way I like to work, those are type of things that I love. All right. Another thing, the EQ. Let me see if I can go to somewhere where EQ is. See, like the parametric EQ here. This is Studio One stock stuff. This is awesome. So I can go in and dial in and trim, pick out those frequencies that I don't like, and you know what I'm saying. Like, so that's pretty awesome. I can also change the what I see. The way the visual, which is pretty cool. So if you're used to looking at it, this way, you can, dial into what's actually going on that way, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty awesome. And they have plenty of nice stock plugins. They have a couple of reverbs, compressors. I'm always using the compressor. This is a mixed verb by Personas. Their compressor here, I love it. It's awesome. You can side chain these things between each other, and just even the way that works is pretty awesome. Like if I want to side chain something, I think I did that in this, but I could be wrong. I don't know if I did that to this one or not. But anyway, like that's just pretty awesome. Like I said, I'm not going to show you everything. That's not my goal here, but I just want to tack on a few things here and there. This was another song that I was working on. So the question, if this can handle a huge amount of tracks, yes, it can handle. And this is like maybe, I say 1/4 of what I do here. Like this is 50 tracks or up to 60. It looks like it's 60 here. This is nowhere near the amount of tracks that I do in here. And I'm gonna say this too as well, guys. I guess I'm just trying to address all of the questions that I get. If your system, I feel like, okay, Studio One can definitely live on PCs and Mac systems. Okay, I work purely off Macs. This is a Mac system, and I've just been Mac ever since years ago. All right, let's put it like that. Now, everybody's system is different. So if you are experiencing issues where yours is sounding distorted, or if it it's not, it doesn't seem like it's handling enough of your project, well, there could be several things going on. See, mine is this. I have the I think this is a 2009 2009 model 27-inch iMac that I have, and I fully maxed it out to 16 gigs. So that's going to be your first issue. You need to make sure that your system has the maximum amount of memory so that it can handle the CPU load of a program like this. The other thing is I work off of external hard drives. I do not put anything like my sound libraries or things like that on my internal. I leave my internal memory for my applications, the things that have to run, the OS system that has to run off of your internal memory or your internal hard drive. I'm sorry. Those things, like this program here, has to be on your internal, but like all of the extra content can be lit. You can move that stuff or install that stuff onto a external drive, and as long as it is 7,200 RPMs, I think you are great. You're super, and that's what's going on here. So that's how I'm able to do stuff. I've done live videos before and experienced lag and stuff like that, and that's only because I had the actual program that I'm streaming from running, as well as Studio One, as well as something else I have going on, and that's the reason why I would experience those lagging and the different things like that. And also the other thing is changing your buffer speed, your buffer or block size. This is what Studio One calls it. It's your block size. So your device block size here, this matters quite a bit too. So you just change between these. So like when I'm mixing, a lot of times I'm like between 512 and 1012, and at some instances I'll go to 2048. All right, but it's usually 512, and then when I'm recording vocals, I'm somewhere around maybe 256. I'm seldom go to 128, but if I need to go to 28, I'm not afraid to go to 128 just to record. And this is what helps your system be more responsive in terms of recording. All right, so it's like it's sort of like the difference between playback and recording. So it's like the rule of thumb is when you're mixing and working in production, that type of stuff, the bigger the block size, the better. And just keep in mind that this is the CPU that you are allowing Studio One to have for itself. And then when you're recording, the smaller the block size, the better, the less latency you experience. So if your artist is experiencing like delays and stuff like that when they're recording, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the matter of changing your block size. And because I'm on a Mac, I'm not sure if PC is doing this too. I can use the 64-bit as well. You know what I mean? So it's 32 and then the 64. So I have that option. So I just have to go with 64. And so that's pretty much like the logistics behind it. And then you have other parameters. The other thing I would like that Studio One, Personas did was make devices. So if I'm using whatever MIDI devices, just be automatic. Logic Pro was a plug and play type deal. Here you have to actually manually install your different devices. So then you have to go to your manufacturer's website and download the driver for whatever device you want to use and go that route. Or Studio One has its own page here where you can they did a good job in trying to highlight all of the major MIDI devices that you can use, and you can just pretty much go here and install it from here. But for instance, things like what I have the Nectar Impact LX49 keyboard. That's nowhere in here. Now Nectar is not even on this list at all. But you have him Audio, Korg, those famous things, or Kai. So those work, no problem. And so that's the only thing. And then the MIDI like production in here, I feel like they still need a little bit more work as far as the MIDI, like when I'm composing in here. And as you can see, this is how big this file is, or how big the session is. I like to get up here in numbers, especially when you're doing like film composing and stuff like that, where you're using several strings, cellos and violins, violas, and different percussion, drums, doing different things, effects, and that type of thing. You're going to get pretty high in numbers as far as your track count, right? And so when that happens, Studio One doesn't really respond that great when doing MIDI. You know what I mean? So right now, if I was to go back in here and say, oh, I need to add a bell part or something like that, Studio One is not going to do a great job in trying to, record that MIDI part. I have many people telling me, well, turn down your block size. That works great for if I'm composing tracks up to 10. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not requiring that much stuff. But this type of stuff here, 12 256, your CPU is gonna hit really hard. You know what I'm saying? So like then I need to increase my buffer size or my block size, and that's a bit of an issue. So if personas can work on, a little bit more on the MIDI side of things, making this DAW more so music producer friendly, if you will. That will be great. I understand the aspect, and people also ask me, is there any instruments, any good instruments, quality instruments that Personas has? Well, they have. Let's see if we can identify them. Okay, they have My Type. This is an instrument by Personas. They have Impact, which is like your NPC type deal. I use this a lot. My Type is more so your synthesizer instrument where you can get it even specify the different parameters here. You can get bass, bells, effects, lead, pads, that type of stuff, right? They also have another instrument called the Mahado. I never use it. I never use it. It sounds cheesy to me. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like using it, so I never use that. There's another one here. This is a sample. This is their sampler. You know what I mean? I use it here and there, depending on what I like. I use it. I showed you guys how to access the tape stop effect or the slow down tape effect. You know what I mean? I did that using Studio One. So the sample one here. I did that using this, and this is it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? They could probably do a little bit more to it to make it a full blown sampler. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see that. Add more bells and whistles to it. And another one I like using is called Presence. Where is that? Presence is here we go. Presence is pretty cool. They also made it an editor where I can go in and do some sound design stuff with Presence, adding different metadata tags and different things like that, which is pretty cool. I could probably go ahead and add this now. So there was a recent and this is not really in the update, but this is something that that you have to purchase as well, like the CS what is it? The CS, I'm sorry, CTC. This console shaper, which is pretty awesome. But the same thing is with the editor aspect. Now, Presence come automatically with Studio One, without a doubt. Presence XT comes, so don't get it twisted. You'll get this with it, but the ability to edit stuff like this button here, this is the difference that you will see once you purchase it. Once you purchase, this is pretty much purchasing the ability to go and do extra stuff like this on the back end. This is what gives Presence the power, or you the power to do sound design. And what I mean by sound design, meaning adding those parameters to different to your samples and different things like that, where it can, what I mean, it can be read here, and you can kind of create your whole kit here. This is powerful. This is awesome. I'm going to do a review. I'm well overdue for a review on this. Personas gave me the opportunity to do a review, and I just really never got a chance to do it. So I'm going to actually do a review on it and kind of play around with it. I guess it would be a good idea to go ahead and jump in that while I build the kit that I just showed you guys. So this is what this is about. And but other than that, that's it. That's the only instruments that they have. And to be honest with you, it makes sense because there is a lot of other third-party instruments that most people have anyway. Like, for instance, me, I will always have my contact library, my complete, I gotta have it. Like, that's, like, I feel like there are a lot of libraries out here that you can use to create awesome stuff, but I feel like complete stuff, Native Instruments always will have a home in my system. So, and then Omnisphere is just another one. This is like a no-brainer. You gotta have Omnisphere, you know what I mean? And then you got just your Silent here. You gotta have, like, if you're doing like synth stuff, you gotta have that. And then Synth Mat. It's like these are things that will always live. I mean, of course they will live with me because I purchased them. I have I have license and serial numbers to these things, so they're gonna always live within my library. But I'm just saying, like, some of you guys have go-to instruments, VSTs and whatnot that you always will use, and so I feel like personas know that. So why come in here and step on people's toes? I mean, I feel like they can do a little more with instruments, and what I mean, and kind of cater to the production world more. I feel like that too, but it is what it is. I feel like it. I'm good. I'm not really tripping. Like, this is not a deal breaker for me. It may be a deal breaker for some of you guys because they don't have a lot, but what they have available, you know what I'm saying? What they have available is pretty awesome. I gotta give it to them. What I mean? You got there's some pretty dope stuff in here. So you can actually make an entire record, like pretty dope record, just using what they have available. It's just they don't have as much as a DAW like Logic Pro, for instance. Like Logic Pro has a bunch of stuff, a bunch of instruments that you can use. That was one of the reasons why I started using Studio. I mean, not Studio, but Logic Pro in the first place. And then Reason, I own Reason as well. I say Reason is another platform that is pretty awesome as far as music production, beat making, and that type of thing. But when you want to get into video, doing things for movies and stuff like that, composing, you know what I mean? More so stuff like, what I'm doing here. I just feel like the video, you need some type of, and there may be a rewire type deal with Reason to be able to do that. Without a doubt, I don't doubt that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people are doing that. I'm sure there are some composers out here that's making some dope music using Reason to film. But like, you can automatically just do that inside of Studio One with no problem. Before they had the issue, I couldn't get it to work, like I wanted to, but they made that update, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the other factor as to why I like Studio One, is because, they are pretty good in making updates. They're pretty quick about it. Their customer service is awesome. The community is awesome. Even if you don't reach, if you don't get a chance to reach out to Persona's team themselves, you're going to hear from someone from the community. You just got to put your question out there. There are several groups on Facebook, Google Plus, or there's a Personas forum on the Personas website itself, and you can get help from there from other people that maybe have experienced the same thing, or you may be able to find an answer to your problem that someone has already experienced and already is documented in the forum somewhere. So like the whole community is awesome. You know what I mean? So no worries there. And so like for a company that I say dedicate and commit themselves to and or listens to us, the users, I feel like they're gonna go far very quickly. And I'm big ups to some of you guys that said you switched over. Again, I'm not trying to steal anyone. I'm not trying to change workflow. This is just something that works for me. I've been asked to do a video in regards to like how I feel even after 2 years of working this thing. And so I love everything about it. Mixing in this thing is pretty awesome. It's very easy. Production, like I say, I just have an issue with the MIDI here and there, but I digress. You know what I'm saying? I can get by. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So I can still do my thing in that regard. It's no biggie. I can still get around. I still love the editing feature and how I can edit notes and whatnot. So I thought this was a MIDI or whatever, but say I need to change my tool here. Say I wanted to and these tools up here is pretty awesome, by the way. Let's change the two here. I'm gonna change this back to freehand. Let's see. Here we go. Gonna create a a situation here. Change my tool. Double click there. You know what I'm saying? So then I can go ahead and just, you know what I mean. And if I need to adjust things, and so when we talk about MIDI editing, this is not a problem. You know what I mean? And then you can change the like, say for some of you guys are learning how to play, you can turn on the you know, this section here, and you can only activate this in MIDI mode here. So say, I don't know, you know, you could change up, you got to turn this on, and then it shows you how to make these chords. So if you are in C major, you know, F3 will work. That didn't sound right because this is, you know what I'm saying? But it will show you, say I wanted to make this a, I guess I could have solo this. But say I wanted to make this, I don't know, D sharp major. So I got a note there. You know what I'm saying? It tells you what works. Let's see. Now that was autosave right there, as you guys saw. So it kind of paused a second. That's the only thing, you know. Like if you're in the middle of something and it is saved, I don't. It don't bother me because it's doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? It would be better if it did it in the background while I'm working. But I mean, I ain't tripping because it's doing what it's supposed to. So like this here, it tells you the note. That's a G3. That's a F3. That's a D3. That's a C3, which is pretty awesome. Like, that's pretty cool, I think. And you can also just switch the view here. Like I said, I'm not going to get deep into all the stuff I love about it. It's just, you know, I just think that Studio One is a solid DAW for whatever you're trying to do. If you're doing like note repeat, that stuff is done here. Like you can change up, as you can see, I can change up the note resolution here. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring this down some so you can see what's going on. See, these are like my presets here, and I can make these presets here. I can route these out to my keyboard. I think I did that before. Yep, it's still there. So I can change. So if I got hi-hats or whatever, you know what I'm saying? For you guys that like to create those that trap type music, you know, being able to use your keyboard to change between the different resolutions, that's pretty dope. And so if I need to where we at? Those are quarter notes. Let's go for I guess I don't have nothing for 32s. So say I go for this note right here. So if I wanted to create 32s here, all I have to do is hit my make sure you have your alt or your option key and paint it in. You know what I'm saying? And then you can always like say like, you know what I mean, you can do stuff like that. So say like you got those snares that needs to, you know, follow a certain pitch at a certain point. You know what I mean? That's pretty awesome. And then I can grab this here if I want to change the velocity of everything, or a selected amount of notes that I want to affect. I can do that there. I can also, you know, something I thought was pretty cool, like I can humanize everything here. So I like, especially for working with piano, you know, you can humanize everything. So if you don't want everything to lock into quantize, like everything start right here at the same time, I can humanize them and make them start different places, which is, you know, this is some of those things that I thought was pretty cool. I could do a lot of this inside of Logic Pro, which is not a problem. But the fact that I'm not lacking in anything, you know what I mean? So like, if you guys are coming from Logic Pro, you have those same abilities to do what you need to do over here, and probably even more. You know what I'm saying? So again, I didn't I'm getting excited. I'm finding more things to tell you guys about, but I don't want to like make the video extra long. So I'm gonna stop here, and I hope you guys you learn something, or maybe I refresh something that you already do. But I've just tried to address a lot of the questions that I still get till this day, and I just figured I just come out and um just do a video on it. Like, okay, so like I gotta show y'all this. Like, come on, stuff like that. Come on, you can do that in any dog, but that's like I wish I could show y'all what it is to work inside of a. Okay, here's one. This is a good one. All right, so say for instance, because everything is in this pack folder, this works great for editing drums. It's like everything is selected for you. So when you click on one, all of them are selected, and I can do stuff like that. So if I need to make uh, an adjustment to like the drum somewhere, say I need to move something over, all of them move at the same time. Um, like this is pretty awesome. I'm just excited. You know what I'm saying? Like this is dope. So if you guys are into, okay, all right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop right here because I'll just be on and on and on. But I hope I just by that I answered your question because I have more things to say about it. But I'm just gonna upload more videos as I've been doing before, and just show you guys pretty cool things that I find here and there. Studio One is always doing some updates, and I got some things to tell you about. I will be doing a review on the console shaper and their full emulation of other analog boards, which is pretty awesome. Um, this thing is crazy, and you guys, they did something else to the Fat Channel, and I have to get to the bottom of that as well. They inside of the Fat Channel, that's where it all started. They did some emulations in there as well. So and I think that more so integrates with the new Live 3, the digital mixer, something I'm trying to get as well. The fader port is awesome as well. So if you guys looking for something to control your DAW in terms of like fading, controlling the faders and knobs and stuff like that. The fader, the fader port took a big upgrade. It used to be one knob or one knob or one fader. Now it's 8 on those, and I believe they all motorized. So you make presets and automation or whatnot. All of that will follow what you did. But I want to go for the gusto. I want to get the live, the Studio Live 3, the version 3 joint, the big one, So, but anyway, I have to get out of here, guys. It's been great. You can master on this. Okay, this is how much I love Studio One. All right, so if you guys got any questions, please feel free to let me know. Another thing I want to address before I leave. Studio One offers 5. It allows you to upload Studio One 3, the professional version, on 5 computers. So anything beyond 5, you can't do anything. So just so you guys know that, so it can run on multiple computers, but just up to 5. All right, so that's a great thing because I have this on the system, and I have another copy on my laptop, and the other 3 copies are on some other things, other studios that I got going on, and so that's great. You know what I'm saying? So I love that about Studio One, and you don't need a unlock key to do what you got to do. So that's a great thing. So anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Remember, my name is Ella, and you guys. It's been great. I love you guys. Music is art. You're the artist. Paint your picture. Make sure you check out the website, ksound.com. Also, courses available on Art of Sound University. Art of Sound .university. All right. Make sure you put a dot in between there. All right. See y'all soon.